Hi. Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. I didn't see that coming. That was obviously a very enthusiastic Donald Trump supporter at a rally in Las Vegas this afternoon. Didn't even need a mic. The Trump campaign is moving ahead as scheduled despite new unconfirmed reports that escaped Mexican drug lord El Chapo has put a $100 million bounty on the head of Donald Trump. Dead or alive, we have the graphic to prove it, even though I'm convinced that mustache is not real. Anyway, on Newsmax Prime, former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik said this threat actually does need to be taken very seriously.
With all this chatter, I think it's something that we should, and Donald Trump should be actually concerned with. He's involved in one of the largest drug cartels in the world. The amount of money he has access to or could put together for some kind of reward or a bounty is enormous, really.
But as Kerik adds, Mr. Trump has a good security team in place so he can continue to campaign, glad hand, be out in front of the American people.
Are the ultimate professionals. He has an extensive security team around him, highly qualified, and they're going to make sure that he gets through this campaign and does what he has to do. But there's still a need for concern always.
Now, the Trump campaign hasn't commented on this story yet. Should we expect something, or may they just stay away from this one, Carl?
I think, what are you
obviously,
I'm a Trump fan through and through.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So,
good for you.
I think if Trump really wants to make the statement here, he should say, obviously, solicitation of murder laws aside, he should say, look, he's offering $100 million. Well, guess what? I'm offering 150 to get him.
Wow.
So if he did that, I think how many people would respect
that
him?
wouldn't work out well.
Like,
yeah, I think. War with Mexico.
No, I think.
No, not because of war with Mexico. Just ignore it. Totally ignore it.
No,
don't give him any fuel. Don't give him any notoriety. Because otherwise, you're saying that this guy in Mexico, who's a horrible criminal, responsible for lots of deaths, that he can bring it to someone who's running for president.
The message that would send to every other nation out there, be like, you mess with him. It's not about Trump now, because he's the front runner for the GOP. It's not about Trump. It's about, if you mess with America, I'm coming for you.
You ever notice that line never works in the movies? Like when they're about to kill somebody and that person actually has some means, and he says, whatever they're paying you, I'll double it.
Right.
No one ever takes the double.
No.
I'd take the double.
Yeah, well, 1.5, but I'd take
criminals.
it. You want to go? You want to go get this guy?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, if I've got the
$150
guns,
million?
I can do some. Yeah, I'll yoga
Note
him.
that. Democrats bringing the guns.
But yeah, $100 million is a lot of money.
It is.
Right, and this guy clearly has it. I mean,
Yes.
he broke out of a high security prison probably by paying off a couple of folks.
It's like that
Talking
movie
to Gail.
Yes.
All right. So if you're Trump, maybe you don't acknowledge it, but do you at least increase security around you? Or if somebody wants to take you out, it seems like at these campaign events, if they're willing to sacrifice themselves,
right.
they can
Well,
take
it's
you
the
out.
John Hinckley problem. He was just one guy with one gun, and he was able to get past all the security and hurt President Reagan. But I like the Pope Francis system of going in the Fiat and rolling down the windows instead of being in the 18-ton Suburban that President Obama travels around, when the rest of us can't do that. So I'd like to see Donald not increase his security.
Okay. Last word.
Well,
quickly.
I recently watched the show Narcos. I don't know if you guys have watched this on a different network. In Colombia, they had the same problem, and they did take out hits on politicians, and they do this in Mexico all the time. Chapo's very powerful. He's the most wanted man in the world. This is not somebody that you should not take into consideration. I think that Trump should up his security. I don't even know if that security is strong enough for him.
Can I speak to the fact
Very
that
quickly.
as a former assassin for the U.S. government, as a SEAL, it is very easy to kill one of these people. It's very hard to get away with it. So if someone wants to do it, they're probably going to be
That's your last word. Okay, and now to the very uneasy relationship between Donald Trump and Fox News. Anchor Megyn Kelly says they never wanted a war with Trump, but she thinks they may be able to put it all behind them.
I'm sure he'll come back on eventually.
Sooner rather than later?
Well, it has to be just right. I think that'll be a big moment. Don't you think that'll be a big television moment, right? So yeah, I think we have to handle that just right. I can't just pop him up there any night like I would any other presidential candidate, because people will be anticipating that exchange.
So should Donald Trump bury the hatchet with Fox News? You appear on that network from time to time.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Was Megyn Kelly's question, you think, unfair? A lot of our viewers think it was.
Not at all. you know,
You
he
thought
was
it
the
was.
front runner.
Absolutely. I lost a lot of respect for Megyn Kelly when she
Explain
started
why.
asking
It's
about
a past
that.
statement that Trump said. She didn't alter the quote in any way, shape, or
It was
form.
the manner that she said it in. She was seething, she was angry, and it was personal. And that's why it became a battle between Donald Trump and Megyn Kelly. And that's why it escalated into the comments that the offensive comments that he made on CNN and the tweet war that they got into. And Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes saying that Donald had to apologize to her. This is a presidential campaign. We should not be having a fight between a journalist and a major contender.
She wasn't
15
fighting
seconds.
with him.
Disagree. I think that he's running for president of the United States. Get some thick skin, answer some tough questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And to
debate.
be fair, she didn't respond to him in those tweets. It was all him.
She
Right.
started it. She asked him an illegitimate question in a bad manner.
I have a feeling we will never see him on Megyn's show. He's been back on Fox, but it's never going to be on the Kelly File. Anyway, do you think Megyn Kelly is telling the truth about Donald Trump? Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Coming up next, we're going to read some of your viewer comments. Don't go anywhere.